Now it's time for Perform Like a Pro.
Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how we're going to rebuild my stairs with oak treads. Now here's the thing, this staircase about 2 years ago, when I bought the house here, it had carpet, so I put down a luxury vinyl plank, and it just hasn't held up with the daily use, so we're going to put down these oak stair treads. Now this staircase needs a lot of work, so we're going to dive into this today. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove these stair treads, which are just caps over the top of the plywood that's down below. And I'm going to take care of this railing. Why this railing? Well, it's 4 feet high, which is way higher than code. So today, we're gonna take this out to start out with, and this wall, so we can start making this thing look pretty. All right, guys, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna remove this top handrail. This is actually old growth VG fir, good old stuff. No sense of ruining it, so I'm gonna carefully take it out of here. So this is this cut end right here. I'm not so worried about it, so I'm gonna try to get in here. All right, guys, one thing that's really smart when you're doing demo work like this, and being this is a framed wall, I'm gonna use the same rules for it. Always take a look and see what's in a wall before you go cutting into it. So I'm gonna knock a hole in this and just inspect to make sure there's nothing inside. There shouldn't be in this instance, but you can't ever be too careful. All right, I'm just feeling around inside to make sure that this is just a regular wall cavity. And it is. There's no hidden surprises in there. All right, guys, next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take off these stair bullnose pieces. And this is just click lock flooring right here. So let's start demoing this thing apart. Now, I got a lot of demo work to do so we can get this thing going. All right, guys, so the first step was when I went down to my local Floor and Decor and I got these white oak stair treads. These are pre-made up, which saves me a lot of time. Could I have built these? Absolutely. But for the price, it was about the same. So that saved me a bunch of time. So what we're gonna do here is I have to pre-sand these to stain them. So I've got my 100 grit sandpaper here. I've got a vacuum, so I'm not getting the dust everywhere. All right, guys, this next step is one of the most important ones, and it's getting the right materials to stain this with. I do not go to the home centers for this. What I do is I go to my local hardwood refinish supply store. There's a ton in the area, and you can get the professional materials to do this correctly. So I went down and got this Bona finish right here. This is the stain. That is our first step. And the first thing we're gonna do is flood this and let this soak into this white oak. All right, guys, this is dried up enough. Time to take it off with a good clean rag. Always change your rag frequently and just work with the grain here. You want enough off of this so it's not sticky, but at the same point, you want enough off of here so you don't, if you take too much off, you'll lighten it up too much. So we want to make sure and kind of have that happy medium. All right, guys, after that is dried, you don't want it to be tacky at all, so it's really ready to go with our protectant. And that's what's going on top of this to give it that deep finish as well as what's going to protect it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do one last coat of these after it's all said and done, because that way any little nail holes and stuff I can fill and it'll be looking perfect. So now we wait for this to dry. All right, guys, so there's a couple things when you're doing an old staircase like this, now that we got demo done. Depends on how the builder first built it. Now this could be traveling off where it gets wider or narrower, so every step could be a little bit different. What I like to do is make a little template so that way I know that the size is gonna be right. So I take some cardboard, make sure I got some square edges on it, and I'll set it in here. Get my square edges there, and get this in here just exactly as I want it. Corners in just like that. Tape this down, verify that I've got this really nice and tight. Then I can go out and mark it out, and I've got my template. This is a great way to make sure you got it right. Then cut one to make sure it fits, and then you can keep on going up the staircase. All right, guys, now I could just nail this down on here, but there's nothing I hate more than creaky steps. I don't need to know when I'm walking around what the noises are, so we're gonna use a good construction adhesive. And I like this stuff here, just the regular Loctite stuff, because it gets really nice and hard. Some of the other stuff, depending on the brand, is a little flexible, and it lets stuff move around a little bit too much. All right, guys, let's get this stair tread in here since we pre-fit it. I'm just gonna put a couple little trim nails in here for safety, just to make sure this stays in and doesn't move around while the glue sets up. Now, I got 12 more to do. All right, guys, so our stair tread risers here, I could have gone a couple different ways. I could have gone with white oak and done that this way, but I want to do something a little different. I wanted to give it an extra little kick. So I went and got some 1/8" material here. It's just plywood. I primed it and painted it with some cabinet enamel, the stuff you put on kitchen or bathroom cabinets. So that way it's durable, and when it gets beat up, I can easily touch it up, which I like too, because that way I can go through and touch this all up when it's all said and done, and you'll never see a single nail hole. So let's put this in. All right, guys, this is a weekend project I know you can knock out. I'm just getting started on this project. We got some exciting steps ahead. Can't wait to show you.